Hello everyone, welcome back to the realm, back to Tyra itself. Another Watch Your Realms video, a little bit different this time. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be summoning, although I do have a healthy amount of summons. I will be honest with you, I do have a few summons, but those are for another time. So this video is going to be the anniversary video. Yes, 365 days in this game, not a day missed. Except for one, which was, giving my location in the U.S. when it was down for a day. So, for those of you who are more familiar with, Watch Your Realms content, this may not be quite a great fit of a video for you. I'm just going to kind of go over, some of the things I just really like about Watch Your Realms. I'm trying to sell the game, not that I'm being paid at all, because I'm not. And also just kind of giving it from a perspective from a nearly basically free-to-play account. I did purchase, I think it's $4.99, the privilege card one time, back in September-ish or so of 2024. I wouldn't say that's really a pay-to-win scenario. You just get a little bit more conveniences. But other than that, free to play, so I would say very nearly free to play. I did that mostly to support. When I really like a game, I support. And I actually will be planning on supporting the game a little bit more. Just want everything with the situation, like with the publisher and everything to be stabilized. But anyway, that's a little bit of a side note. So for those of you who are not familiar with Watch Your Realms, welcome. This is a great game to get into. It is available for PC. It is also available on the phone, which is primarily where I play it. I am currently at level 78, and my account is definitely not min-maxed, definitely not maxed out as well as it could be for its level and for everything that it has. One of the reasons I really like this game is because you can really play it that well in the background. And I do play this game a lot at work. At work. Don't report me, please. Yeah, I would say about 70 to 80% of my time in this game is at work. Anyway, but yeah, it's really enjoyable. We'll just see where this game goes in a year or two from now. But I don't know. I really like this game. I really like this game. It does have its faults. This is like a really great relationship where there's, a little few nitpicky things here and there, and maybe a few slightly bigger, than nitpicks, but overall, it's a very beautiful relationship that's going on. This is a very great game. If you've watched any of my videos before, you'll probably remember me mentioning Pokemon Stadium 2 as one of my favorite games of all time, and one of the features about that is just there's so many modes you can just get lost in for hours and hours. Watch Your Realms is kind of approaching that. There are just so many things to do. A lot of it is cycling, which is I appreciate maybe a little bit less cycling stuff, like for instance, I'm talking about like the Immortal Codex, right, where you can't have access to these. Sometimes it will go on and it will go off for a few weeks, and you can't access it, as opposed to something like the promotion rates. So it is what it is, but even so, there's still lots and lots of content here to enjoy, and I'm going to kind of run through really quickly. But what drew me to the game in the first place? Well, I'll be honest with you, graphics. I'm really into realism as opposed to kind of more artsy. I do appreciate artsy, and I will get into it, but once you have realism, and it's a certain type of realism, not just realism for realism's sake, then you really have me. And as you can kind of tell by these character models, we've got some beautiful bangers right here. As again, you can tell by the DPI, I'm not maxed out or anything, but we've got some great character models, I'm telling you, okay? I'm telling you. Lots of great factions, and to choose from. Got another dragon here, and then we have has a beautiful skin. The skin has to take the cake. It's like a Ghidorah skin. Look at that. Just look at that. That's freaking gorgeous. But so that's one thing that drew me to it. It was actually recommended to me when I was downloading a different tower defense game. So although this is a tower defense game, it is not your conventional tower defense game. It's like a kind of a hero development RPG tower defense game sort of thing, where the heroes are the tower defenses. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so I'm going to go through kind of real quick. There's just so many modes. There's a story mode here that you get Volca, and then you have Odyssey. This one's going to be actually pretty easy to get. And I think, yeah, this one's going to be a little bit more challenging. I haven't made an actual concerted effort to make a good arena team. But then you have PvP and arena. I don't have the best team or anything, but there you go. There you have it. And you also have PvP in the form of guilds. So you can join a guild, which is, your own team. And you can do PvP stuff. You can, do a daily boss, a weekly boss. And they're adding, maybe they just added Abyss 1 for this, so I'll add probably more. And then you can do, and this is kind of one of the cycling things I don't like, is like you are given 2 weeks to set your garrison. It's like, do we really need that long? Maybe just a few days. I know maybe to experiment for the meta or something, but I don't know. I'm not that level yet where I'm thinking about meta yet. Although I may be kind of close. I am getting sometimes more victories than I am losses, which is starting to get to that tipping point. But yeah, this is pretty cool. My my guild is not that good, but this is the same guild I've been with ever since the start. I'll probably will eventually switch once I outgrow it, but for now, yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, and it's really cool also with this mode because you get to train the enemy. What do I mean by that? Well, I was going to say I clicked on the wrong thing. I clicked on the right thing. It just wanted me to click on something else. The tower, you're a tower defense, and the towers are the heroes, and the heroes defend against these hordes of enemies. Well, you get to do it from the opposite side and beat these enemies. That's one thing I really like about this game. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I think it is. I think there's a lot more opportunity for a lot of different modes, but like there's something that's still, is it still even, and let me see if it's still even in there. Demonic Crusade, it's still there, where it's like, yeah, it's just sitting there, and they created this content like, half a year ago, and then it just kind of sat there. I thought this was pretty cool, and yeah, coming soon. So, but yeah, with the demon soldiers, you can level up, have your own demon soldiers, and make them more powerful, and then you basically are anti-tower. So, and there's a good number of them, and they're adding more. So, lots of different modes, guilds, demon soldiers. Kind of going back now to War Room, this has the same thing I mentioned, touched upon earlier, the Drake's Chasm, which is the daily boss that you fight against. Tide, I'm only at 153, I think, so I still got a little ways to go. But yeah, Tide's kind of like a more, it's nice as at least some others, new content or another piece of content, but it is, kind of mindless. It's just BP check and that's it. Demonic Crusade, which I just mentioned, that's something that they need to add more to, but that's just another mode that they added. Titanic versus the weekly boss. Void Rift, they could add another mode. I've beaten Nightmare. I've beaten parts of, or what is it actually? What is it? I've been hard, sorry. Now, I've been parts of Nightmare, but not the whole thing. So, yeah, I need to do better with that. Epilogue, I need to look up how to, again, my Council on Mid-Max, I haven't looked up how to do the epilogue. I just kind of took a peek at it, lost a few times. I was just like, okay. And then they added like this kind of Farmville thing where you have, you can get resources just by playing the game. Every 12 hours, it will fill to the max. You can, send your ship out to go get things. Relative to the other content, it's not my favorite, but, it just kind of is still underlying the theme that there's just so much to do in this game, and it's really nice. And then you have this weekly thing where you can buy all the stuff, and, and you upgrade, which this was, long ago. I completely forgot about it. You can craft things with those things that you farm, so, just lots of content that you can explore. And of course, you got the shop, which refreshes in every hour, so you can be encouraged to keep an eye on the game at least once an hour. Guild shop, they just added new guild dividends, which I think isn't quite enough. It was a little deceiving as well because you go to the gold dividends for the guild, and then you have and you're like, oh, okay, well, you have all this stuff right here. I'm gonna get that much, but it's not. It's deceiving. You get like 1/20th of that. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing. And then you have the arena shop, multiple shops, and then you have I'm not gonna be doing this anytime soon, but this is same thing as this one, but then if you get to the higher ranks, Apex shop, Apex level. Awakening is if you sell heroes, and then you also have the dungeon, that's the gear dungeons, and you push further into that. And then you have this one as well, the Immortal Codex shop, which I just always choose to go for the Immortal Codex itself. And then you have these Oracle Trials, which will pop up every so often and allow you to compete against others and to rank up. And you have the Golden Dragon Pass, which will appear every so often, usually once every 2 weeks or so. And then you can always, purchase more if you want to for more rewards. And then you have the event calendars, which are showing things that are coming up. By the way, we got this new Fenris, really cool design. We have a good number of centaurs though. And you have all these. In fact, we do have new content coming up. This one looks pretty good. I wasn't a big fan of the double one. I forget what it's called. I'm going to go ahead and claim that while I'm here. And then you have this really nice one. We have, 3-4 months to log in. So that's cool. So yeah, as you can see by the event calendar, there's things that will show up about almost a week beforehand, and you just have, given lots of time to see what's coming up. And yeah, if you go to the raids, you have promotion raids. Obviously, I've maxed out all of them long ago. For each of the classes, you have 4 classes: marksman, mages, or 5 classes. Marksman, mages, defenders, healers, and fighters. It is kind of annoying that you have to do both of these for them, so these get eaten up pretty quickly, relatively speaking, to the others. But they are adding a new defender, a new class. So that's why, again, they just keep the content coming. That's what's really cool about this game. They are also adding a tower. So the gear raids, I'm not too far in them. I need to min-max, so I actually just need one more stage for gear raid 1. But yeah, there's 3 gear raids, and then once you get to a certain level, then you activate or unlock your dungeons, which are really cool. Factions is kind of annoying in the sense I said before about you're not being able to, you're only able to play one faction a day. You have to wait a whole another week for the other faction, or almost a whole another week for other factions to cycle around. They are supposedly going to add another faction trial for Arbiters and Chaos, maybe. At least Arbiters, I've heard. Artifact Materia, I need to do better on this one as well. Haven't looked up how to beat this level. 20 resource raids. You have experience raids and gold. You see, I'm just going. There's so many things you can do, and I'm on N929. I've maxed out everything else. The other 2 modes, I just need normal, which is kind of funny, right? That I've maxed out hard and expert, but I haven't maxed out normal because they haven't added these other N9 stages for these other parts. So yeah, and then there's even more like within the campaign. This is campaign for those of you not familiar. They have Spectral Rift, and it looks like I haven't beaten that one fully. Yeah, there's just so much content. This is campaign, and one thing I would like to see, I'm not going to go too much into a suggestion video, is like a more beautiful, like a foresty environment. That'd be cool for campaign. But yeah, campaign, you do so much content, especially on a daily basis, that you sometimes forget that campaign exists. But yeah, I think I touched upon most of the main aspects of what you're around. You have your campaign, you have your raids, tons of raids, you have your Immortal Codex, you have your bosses, which you'll do on daily and weekly basis. So there's just tons of replayability. And then, of course, for the heroes themselves, you have multiple ways to level them up. You have promotion, you have the gear itself, you have their skills, And you have Awakenings. I just spent the 3 Soul Stones today on him. Hopefully that works out. I've heard it's really good. I'm not too sure. And then the Artifact. So lots and lots of different ways to level them up and to customize them, make them who you want them to be. Yeah, actually, there's a skin that I have, and if you want to see that, yeah, that's cool. So yeah. Anywho, holding a column there. So yeah, that's Watcher of Realms, and yeah, I really enjoy it. I really look forward to the future of Watcher of Realms. If you know, it caters to lots of different audiences. What kind of got me into it was the fantasy aspect, and there have been lots of great designs. There has been one recent miss, I shall not name. Some other content creators have already called that design out by name. Not my cup of tea. Anyway, but if it's yours, that's okay. But yeah, lots of great things coming up. There's going to be a tower coming up. I believe on a monthly basis. There we go again with that cycling content. Is also going to be 2-player, I believe, co-op, and that's going to be really cool. Really looking forward to that, depending on what it is, of course, but the idea is really nice. So there's just a lot of content coming, and it's a really good game. It's a really good game. You know, it caters to lots of different people. For me personally, you know, I probably wouldn't have played this game quite as much if I didn't have like the auto battle feature, which for those of you who don't know, it's like you can really farm heavily with this game by just auto battling. So for instance, if I beat like here I have almost 2,000 auto fights. I can just, you know, auto fight, turn this thing on in the background, and not pay attention to it, and it will do all the fights for me. So this is, you know, one of the reasons that I'm able to play it so much, like at work and all that, is because, you know, it allows these auto fights where you can be playing and, you know, completing the game, but not actually playing, you know. So it's really nice and fun. It adds a great aspect to it where you can, you know, still be, you know, progressing and multitasking. Multitasking is always nice for me. Got a busy life. We live in a busy world. That's always moving. So yeah, but again, it caters to lots of different people. So you don't have to be one of those really busy people who just wants to multitask. It's really fun. Yeah, I really look forward to what good content they're going to come out with. Hopefully you take it and continue to, you know, add on it, add great modes, that sort of thing. I don't really have much else. I will just kind of mention, you know, by the time this video goes live, don't forget this important notice for US players only. I'm actually going to do it after this video probably, where you need to basically install the US version of it. But yes, the US version is on the app stores, and also for PC. So yeah, that should be kind of the gist of the video. Again, a little bit different, nothing too, you know, groundbreaking for those of you already familiar with the Tyra and the Watcher of Realms world. I've even heard they might actually add another faction here. Yeah, it's exciting times. I really like this game. Really interested to see where they take it, and I hope you are too. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and game on. We will see you in the next video. Take care.